Today I'm taking apart the tailgate for a first generation 4runner. Mine is already missing the trim panels. Those just pop off. So we'll start with this metal cover. Now I have access to the window motor and regulator, as well as the lock and latch cables inside. Now I already have this top removed and it's stored out back right now. And if you look over here on this hole, there's a relay switch under it, which will only allow this mechanism for the rear window to work if the bolt for the top is installed. If you look down in there, you can see a little tiny switch. So I've got a smaller bolt. You can see it's moving the switch up and down there. And then I'm just gonna put this magnet on top of it to hold it in place. And with that switch pressed down, the rear window will work. I have a pick tool here, and I'm gonna try to preserve as many of these clips as I can. 40-year-old plastic does get brittle. I'm pretty sure this clip should have a long tab that's already been broken. Got the top free. Now push down and toward me. And there's the bottom. This one's already out. And I have the window all the way down while I'm doing this. Otherwise, I wouldn't have enough room to move the trim around. Whoa, I think we have an intact clip here. Yeah, look at that. Still has its tail. All those missing tails, except one, tells me someone's been in here before. Now for this outer trim, I'm pushing the clip down and away from the metal edge. This one's fighting me a little bit. And that's free. So here's how everything works inside. And I want this glass to be about halfway up. Right about there. I need the metal track on the glass and the arms of the regulator to be in a straight line together. Same with this side. Now I can start removing all these clips for the harness. And I don't know what's going on here. Someone connected these two together. These wires went to the latch and they taped off the other two ends. Not sure why they would do that. But everything worked, so I'll leave it as is. This is for the right cable. And here's where the left and right cables connect to the main locking mechanism. And this is for the handle. Only the left side latch has one of these connectors. There must be some kind of sensor in the latch. Maybe to make sure the tailgate is shut before the window works. Maybe that's why somebody cut and spliced the wires. If you look down in here, is that a dart? That is a dart. This black plug here is for the window motor. To separate these two, I need to push this clip out, not in. Hard to show on camera, but then it comes apart. Now I can unplug these guys, and I'll get this ground in a minute. Before I unbolt those 4 bolts holding everything together, it's not a bad idea to stuff an old shirt or towel in between the regulator and the glass, just to be sure the glass doesn't get scratched up by the metal edges on the regulator. And now the regulator is only attached to the window. So looking from the side, you can see the little black roller in the track there. And we have the exact same thing on the other side. I need to grab this whole thing and slide it one way and get that roller out. And then slide it the other way and that roller will come out. So like that and like that. And it's free from the glass. Now I can pull the glass out of the tailgate. I can move the regulator down here for a second. And now there's enough room to get the rod for the handle out of the way. And if I slide the regulator all the way to one side, keep getting hung up on these wires and cables. Let's go to the left first. I can lift the right side up through the center. And then pull the whole assembly out through the center. And there it is. Now the handle assembly comes right out. I'm done with this. So the rest is pretty simple. Here's the right latch. And the left latch. This one had the wiring harness on it. Not sure how this bottom corner got so rusty. Next comes the harness. I have a clip here to release. Look inside this rear corner. Unplug this guy. And pull the harness out through this hole in the bottom of the body. I have a couple more wires that run to the license plate lights in this garnish here. So to remove that, I have a nut here and a nut here. There's a big old fat white plug up in here. Disconnect that. And give this center clip a squeeze and a push. And carefully remove the garnish. These aren't cheap. And the previous owners decided to replace the original license plate lights with this universal one. All right. I'm looking to buy these OEM plate lights if anyone's selling some. A couple more clips inside. Another one here. I missed this guy earlier, hiding down here in the rust. And there's the tailgate harness. Now for the weather stripping. Once the corner is free, there's these tiny T-shaped clips all the way around, and you can't just pull the rubber off or it'll tear. So you gotta stretch it one way over the top of the T and then pull it off the other side. And if I do that, it doesn't tear the hole bigger. And just do that all the way around the weather stripping. I'm at the other end and done. So there's a metal rod that runs across the bottom edge, held in with 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts, and each end goes inside the tailgate. And it's a spring to help this heavy tailgate with glass and a motor not slam down like a truck's tailgate. Here's the bottom of that spring. This one has already rusted itself free, but I'll crack the other 3 loose. Now I can unscrew these shackles and remove these 12mm bolts on the hinge bracket. And the whole tailgate is ready to come off. But I have to remove it in more of an up position because there's a lot of tension on that spring when the tailgate is down flat. And here's a better look at that spring. These bolts are pretty rusty. And then the spring slides out of the tailgate. Before I remove this EFI emblem, I'm making a masking tape template that I can stick onto the new tailgate to make sure I apply the emblem in the correct same location. Then I used a heat gun on the area around the emblem, not on the plastic emblem itself, and it lifted right off with the scraper. Now over on the other side, we have the 4runner emblem, and this one's a little more complicated. If you look at the inside, there's 4 little tabs on the back of the emblem. Zoom in and you can see there's a slot in each tab with a little plastic key to keep the slot spread apart. Grab some needle nose pliers and hold the edge of that key on both sides and gently wiggle it up. Now I can grab it from the flat sides and it comes right out. There it is. Now do that 3 more times. And after the key is out, I can gently squeeze both sides of the tab and push it through the holder. Do that 4 times and the emblem pulls right off. So here is my new tailgate. I got this from Jeff Dorsch out in Colorado. And as you can see, it's rust free. So once I get this, along with the rest of the body, all painted, I'll transfer all the parts from the old tailgate over to this one. And let me know down below if you want to see a video about that. Thanks for watching.